Solomon was born into a home that carried many wounds. His mother, Bathsheba, had cried many nights before he came. Her heart felt heavy. Her smile was small. She often sat alone, holding her sadness quietly. But the day Solomon was born, everything changed for her. When she held him in her arms for the first time, she felt a soft warmth fill her chest. A warmth she thought she would never feel again. She whispered, "God, thank you. You healed something inside me today." His father, King David, was a strong man, but inside he carried guilt, mistakes, and regret. He had lived through battles, loss, and heartbreak. Yet when he saw baby Solomon sleeping peacefully, his heart softened. He placed his hand gently on the baby's head. For a moment, David felt hope again. Solomon grew up differently from the other children in the palace. While the other boys ran, shouted, and fought, Solomon liked quiet places. He loved sitting where the sunlight came through the window. He loved listening to his father play the harp. He loved asking small, deep questions. He was gentle. He noticed things. He cared for everyone. If a servant looked tired, Solomon helped carry the baskets. If a child was crying, Solomon sat beside them until they felt better. If someone was sad, Solomon felt their sadness too. Bathsheba often told him, "Solomon, your heart is soft in a strong world." He didn't act like a prince. He didn't want attention. He didn't want power. He only wanted to understand people and understand God. But the palace was full of noise. Brothers fighting for the throne, men arguing about the future, people whispering in dark corners. Solomon stayed quiet. He stayed calm. He stayed kind. One day he asked his mother, "Why do people hurt each other when we could choose peace?" Bathsheba swallowed hard and touched his cheek. "My son," she said, "not everyone has a heart like yours." His father David watched him with growing wonder. Solomon was young, but there was something special in him. A gentleness that felt like wisdom. A softness that felt like strength. Late at night, David often went to Solomon's room. He watched his son sleep under the moonlight. Solomon looked peaceful, innocent, full of light. David whispered, "You will bring peace where I could not. You will heal what I could not heal." Solomon didn't hear him. He didn't know God was preparing him for something great. He didn't know he would one day become king. He didn't know he would be remembered forever. He was just a quiet boy, with a soft heart and a deep love for God. But heaven was watching him. Heaven was shaping him, and his journey was only beginning. After King David grew old, the palace changed. People walked quietly. Servants talked with worry. David's sons argued about who should be king. But Solomon stayed calm. He did not want power. He did not try to prove anything. He only wanted peace. His mother, Bathsheba, watched the tension rise every day. She knew danger lived inside the palace walls. One afternoon, she held Solomon's hands and whispered, "My son, stay close to God. He will guide you." Solomon nodded, but inside he felt small. Too small for the weight that was coming. Finally, David called Solomon to his bedside. The once strong king now looked tired and weak, but his voice was still full of love. "Solomon," he said softly, "you will be king after me, not because you are strong, but because your heart listens." Solomon felt fear rise inside him. "Father, I am young. I don't know how to lead people." David squeezed his hand. "You do not need great strength. You need God. Ask him, and he will give you wisdom." Those were the last guiding words David gave his son. When David passed away, Solomon became king. The crown felt heavy on his head. He looked at the people gathered before him, some hopeful, some doubting, some waiting for him to fail. Solomon's heart beat fast. How can I lead these people? How can I judge fairly? How can I be strong enough? He did not pretend to know. He did not try to act powerful. Instead, he went to Gibeon, a peaceful place where God had met his people many times. That night, under the quiet stars, Solomon knelt at the altar. He closed his eyes and prayed from the deepest part of his heart. "Lord, I am only a child. I don't know how to rule. Please give me wisdom, so I can guide your people with justice. He did not ask for money. He did not ask for fame. He did not ask for long life, only wisdom. As he finished praying, the air around him grew warm, gentle, soft, glowing. A voice spoke, not loud, but strong enough to touch his soul. Solomon, because you asked for wisdom, and not for riches or power, I will give you wisdom greater than any man, and I will bless you with peace, honor, and success. Solomon's eyes filled with tears. He bowed his head and whispered, "Thank you, Lord." When he stood up, something inside him had changed. His fear became calm. His confusion became clarity. His heart became steady. He returned to Jerusalem a new man, still gentle, still humble, but now filled with a wisdom that came directly from heaven. This was the beginning of Solomon's true journey as king. Solomon returned to Jerusalem with a calm heart. People looked at him differently now. They didn't fully understand what happened in Gibeon, but they could see something new in his eyes. A quiet strength, a deep peace. Solomon did not brag about his wisdom. He did not walk proudly. He stayed humble. He listened carefully to everyone who came to him. He wanted to serve people, not rule over them with power. One morning, 2 women came to the palace. They looked tired, scared, and full of pain. In their arms, they carried one small baby. A guard approached Solomon and said, "My king, these women need your judgment." Solomon nodded gently. The first woman stepped forward, crying, "My lord, and this child is mine. We both lived together. We both had babies. Her baby died in the night, and she stole my living child while I slept." The second woman lifted her chin and said sharply, "No, my king. The living child is mine. She is lying." Both women cried. Both begged. Both held on to their story. The room fell silent. Solomon sat quietly studying their faces. He didn't just listen to their words, he listened to their hearts. After a long moment, he said calmly, "Bring me a sword." Gasps filled the room. A guard stepped forward with the sword, unsure and afraid. Solomon said, "Divide the child in 2. Give each woman half." Everyone froze. The second woman, the one who spoke last, did not cry. She said coldly, "Yes, my king. Let it be so." But the first woman let out a cry that shook the entire hall. "No! Please, my king, do not harm the child. Give him to her. Just let him live." Solomon's eyes softened. He raised his hand. "Stop," he said quietly. He looked at the first woman and smiled gently. "Give the child to her. She is the true mother." Only a real mother would give up her child to save his life. The palace guards bowed their heads. Servants wiped tears from their eyes. People watching whispered, "God truly gave him wisdom. This king sees the heart. This king is fair." The true mother fell to her knees and wept with joy, holding her baby tightly. Solomon didn't celebrate. He didn't act proud. He simply closed his eyes for a moment and thanked God silently. From that day on, all of Israel knew something special. Their king was not just wise. He was compassionate. He was understanding. He carried God's judgment in his heart and God's gentleness in his hands. The boy who once sat quietly under trees, who brought peace into a wounded home, now brought justice to a whole nation. His wisdom became a light that still shines today.